Joe Rogan. Oh my god, man. What are you gonna do with the guy? What are you gonna do with him, man? You know what happens when you start talking about so many different things and you have an opinion, you're bound to end up somewhere where you're gonna say things that other people aren't gonna like, that there's a line in the sand. There's a certain point to where you don't like things. Sometimes you even hate things. You hate things and you won't admit it. There's a lot of things that I think a person needs to suppress inside of them to go on and say so many things. And sometimes you can't really say what you need to feel. And does that mean he's a bad person? Does that mean that, and it's ironic too, because now they're basically trying to like suppress the entire thing. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to like filter out everything, because that's what they do on big networks, is they filter everything out. And then you got a guy on there, and it's a hard situation. Like, what are you gonna do? When you got a guy like Joe Rogan, and you got a lot of other people out there. Oh man, it's just an ugly situation. So many things that the guy talks about. There's so many, and it's almost like you can't criticize if you say anything, if you go against him, if you make jokes about him online. And this is the deal with a lot of these people that get into power. They have so many fans. It's just like, it's hard to really go up against him. It's hard to really smash him out. It's hard to really even say one thing about a person when they get such a reputation, and then it's like they become a corporation. It's like a fucking corporate fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so big that you have such a high level of functionality as an entertainer or whatever. I'm just talking out my ass too. I'm just saying things. I'm just making videos on shit. And I don't know. I feel like, like Joe is in a position where Joe is Joe, and Joe, he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? I think there's attributes of him which can kind of, I don't know, man. It almost seems like he's just like a slimy little snake. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just kind of, it's like, it's kind of like it's like a miracle, Like, it's almost like a miracle that the guy even was that successful or even had a podcast like that. But that being said, he is one of a kind commentator. Like him on UFC, he's really good on UFC. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously been around for a long time. And I know that I'm just spilling off a lot of bullshit. But if he said something against me, if he commented on me, which I'm sure if, I'm pretty much nobody. I'm just some guy that observes shit and makes content and jokes and stuff. But if he wouldn't said something against the stuff I say and all this, he would never do something like that. There's certain people that I think he would just look past. And if you try to here's the thing. Even though I know some people might have some things to say about what I'm saying here, I almost feel like it reaches a point to where you can't really say anything bad about a person, because they already figured it out. They know what they're doing, dude. They're portraying themselves in the best possible way, making the stuff that, people are, it's like a technical fame. You start looking at fame in a way that you just have to do certain things. You have to make certain kinds of things, and then you can start to build people up and stuff over time, and it can be really hard. But it's almost like it's like you're just nothing, That's what I feel like. I feel like if I was to, say anything about Joe Rogan, it wouldn't even matter. Like, even if it was like something that, that was really good and it was a really funny joke or whatever, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like it just doesn't matter. And that's part of comedy too. That's part of comedy, is making everything into a joke and promoting yourself in such a way to where it's like, it's hard to really, like, as long as you don't make any mistakes, then you can get away with a lot more, I think, in comedy than politics or something. But You know, it's even stupid to sit here and criticize someone. You know, it's just like I don't even have anything to say really. Like, you know, you're just criticizing a person who's so big, and it's like you're just a small fish in the water. You can say whatever you want, and especially if they're a dedicated fan, they don't give a shit. You know, they don't give a shit what the fuck you're gonna say about Joe Rogan. Like, you could say anything, and they probably won't even remember you. They won't even fucking hear you. You know, so that's, and you know, here's the reason. I stopped watching Joe Rogan. You know, I stopped watching because it just got so baity. You know, and like I went to go look at the channel page once, and all of the fucking icons are like these square green icons. I could barely even fucking look at the page, dude. I'm like looking at this page, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I like my eyes hurt. I'm like, dude, I can't even look at this. I can't even choose a video. But you know, I think that the Joe Rogan podcast it tapped into something that was very relatable. And it tapped into a lot of topics that, you know, weren't being talked about a lot of different places. And it was talked about it in a way that, you know, it could be comprehended by, you know, by a multitude of different people. And, you know, that's another thing about podcasting and collaborations. When the podcast functions, the entertainment functions off the sole premise of a fucking collaboration, getting someone on the show. You know, it's just such a powerful thing to have, you know, especially like a person like me. Like I could try to get people on my show or on my fucking channel and stuff, and I should probably put more work in. But anyways, you know, I don't know. You know, I think that what happened with Joe was he hit like a gold mine that I think a lot of people weren't able to get in, or a lot of people, like a lot of shows on mainstream TV would never be able to tap the market, and especially, you know, with the amount of stuff he's putting out, right? So it's YouTube shit, so he can put out as much as he wants. It's not like he has a contract. And I think that some of those shows on TV, you know, they get cut, they get limited, they get, you know, they only, you know, put out certain things, and that's what he's turned into, you know. And you know, it's kind of like it kind of turns into propaganda, but it also turns into marketing. And when you're locked into a contract, that's just the way it is. That being said, I mean, I think it kind of, you know, that happens to a lot of people. You know, it's basically selling out, and that's what it is, you know. But I honestly can say that I don't blame Joe Rogan. You know, he's obviously, you know, got a lot going for him, and, you know, he's a smart guy, and, you know, whatever. And you know, it's kind of sucks to, you know, I feel like he's a little bit aggressive too, because he kind of comes from the fighting world, you know, or that kind of alpha male fucking almost toxicity too. But I mean, there's a lot of guys, if they can control themselves, then they can be very, you know, he's obviously, you know, I think Joe has found himself in comedy, and that's what has helped him become a personality. But other than that, I think that possibly he's a really, like, stern, like, male, you know what I'm saying? Like, really studded, like, really, like your typical alpha fucking male. You know, that's the way I kind of see him, too, especially being a part of UFC and being so involved in, like, fighting. And I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass, really, dude. I mean, this is just a video. It's just a fucking animated podcast that I'm making. But anyways, you know, I quit watching the show. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna end with that. I quit watching fucking Joe Rogan because it got really fucking baity, and there's something about the energy that I just didn't like anymore. You know, it almost feels like, you know, this is just, it was good. It was good for a while, but then you talk about so many things, and you make so many of these fucking bait videos, and it's just like, man, I just can't do this anymore. Okay. Like, here's the thing. Okay, I get it. You're talking to people. You're getting exclusive interviews, exclusive content. You're talking about controversial things. You know, you're doing stuff that a lot of shows won't fucking do. And that's part of why you have that's why the fucking That's the reason why the show succeeded, is because you're doing shit that other people didn't do. And then look at all the fucking podcasts now, you know, that are kind of the same as they're spawning. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's always been podcasts, but it seems like with Joe Rogan, he inspired a whole, like, it's almost like he inspired a whole generation of podcasts and shit, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, there's a lot more different stuff happening, you know, being put out there, like maybe even this, I don't know. But, as far as expressing your opinion, but, you know, it seems like he's kind of locked in a contract, he's cut and dry. And, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how that's going to work, you know, when you're representing someone else like that and, you know, saying things about other people like this. And, but, I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass. Who gives a fuck? I actually just made this character animator, like, the other day. So I'm just, like, chilling. But anyway... Oh, hail the mighty Joe Rogan, huh? That's pretty much all I got to say on this, I guess. Yeah. Who knows what's gonna happen?